My couch. Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch once again. Now earlier in the day I dropped the new 4K CGI cinematic for Last Epoch, which I think is so awesome. And I didn't want to cut it up, I didn't want to interrupt, I wanted you to be able to watch it in all of its glory, and I will link that at the end of this video. But this is going to be a part 2, where we actually watch the cinematic together and I stop and try and pull little Easter eggs out. Now I want to be clear, I know that there are Easter eggs and things I am going to miss in this cinematic. I've watched it a bunch of times, I feel like I've got a good grasp of it, but if there is something I miss, which I will, leave it in the comment section. I'll read every single comment. I want to see what I miss on this part 2. So let's watch the new CGI Last Epoch trailer together. Go.
History. Memory. Prophecy. Fate.
Okay.
Each one.
Stopping right here. Now, Mike has shown off this image during his Friday streams, and a lot of the time we're like, oh, this is going to be a new act in the campaign, which likely it will. When you actually look at the map inside of the game, you will see this floating city with chains attached to it, and we think we are going there as the next part of the campaign. Also, during this scene, you will see this guy rumbling around over here.
The link.
See him walking?
Upon the
That right there is the mountain beneath. Yes, this guy right here is the boss you fight in the Lightless Arbor dungeon. And the first time I watched this, I honestly didn't see him rumbling around. I was focused on the chain and the flying thing. And then on the second thing, I was like, oh, who's that over there? Yes, it is the dungeon boss himself. And he looks very big. Let's continue.
chains of time. Here lie the answers you seek. But be warned.
Okay, I'm going to pause right here. I looked through all these books and maps. I couldn't make anything out. Now, this cave that you enter, let me back up just for a minute right here. This to me looked like the first cave in Act 1, the newly revamped Act 1. You're literally outside, you enter this little cave, there's all these bright colors, flora, you kill this bear, and then you exit. I know it's a little bit of a stretch, but that's what I get. I literally went and replayed it to see if there was like shield or weapons. There wasn't, but just throwing that out there.
Warned. Any one link can mean the beginning or the end. And some chains, once broken.
This sword right here, I have no idea why it's in this cinematic or what it means lore-wise, but 100% this short sword is Shard of the Shattered Lance, which is a set item inside of Last Epoch. It's actually a really good item and set for Shatter Strike as a spell blade. And then obviously here you have the 2 shards to create the
Can never be reforged.
compass. Oh, how beautiful. Again, the floating city from the map. I know 11th Hour games.
Since the first light of Hydra, time has been your temple. But fate now sets upon a darker path.
Again, visuals for the new Act 1. You could see it. This statue right here looks like Itera. Match that to the actual UI in-game on the left-hand side. And then as this scene plays, it's actually the exact same scene. You just circle the fire pit.
I've seen the world fall. and mortals clash for power.
Here you could see the bird, that is Rye. I also played the entire fire area in Act 1, seeing if I could match anything. And nothing, I mean, you see the barrels here, which are breakable in game. But other than the bird, who's Rye, nothing in here that I noticed.
And empires rise, crushing.
Who is that? Let's get a better shot.
To dust.
Who's that in the background? That is the Immortal Emperor, who we are still trying to figure out who that is. Somewhere in the campaign that you come across, one of the NPCs is the Immortal Emperor. We will find out later in the campaign who that is, but as of right now, we do not know.
And bone.
You have little Matrix Sentinels flying around.
And
Now the void
then,
scene.
those who remain.
Pause. Wait.
Will
Pause. Come on.
tracked.
There. That's a better shot. Dead Sentinel right here. There. Oh, that's a good pause. Kind of hidden in plain sight, right? But here is your dead Sentinel.
Into darkness.
Pause. Here is your dead rogue, I believe. Your dead rogue. Yeah, it's got a bow.
Into ruin. Into the void.
Oh, go back. And then you can see right here the arm. This is your dead Acolyte. Now, I have watched this over and over again, and there's a chance I am missing it. I figured every every class is probably in here dead. All I can see is the Sentinel, the Rogue, and the Acolyte. But if you missed that, 3 dead corpses.
Here, at the end of all things, the fate of our world will be decided.
Once again, Shard of the Shattered Lance Sword. All put back together. And while we are here, this is the Mage class, and this is the T4 armor for the Mage.
By you. You will stand on the edge of
The new Void
extinction.
Golems that are in Act 1.
With the last light of humanity in your hands.
Epoch.
You must not fall.
Okay. Little bit of a stretch here, but that reminded me of in the dungeon, the default D key where you could jump between worlds, like Void and then kind of Imperial or Modern. That's what that reminded me of right there. Character didn't move, switch scenes. Maybe.
Uncover the past. Reforge our future. The war.
Now, when you're looking at the 5 character classes, like I said, this is the Mage in the T4 armor. You have the Sentinel in his T50 armor. You have the Acolyte in her tier 50 armor. You have the Primalist in the Ancestral garb. And you have the Rogue in the Gorgon scale coat. So they are all in their in-game armor sets that honestly look the most cool. Also, if you didn't notice, everything is put back together and you are back at the beginning. The chains are still in. So this is like you're now standing in Act 1, ready to prepare yourself, or you're headed off with your fellow classes on your journey.
For Terra has only just begun.
Flying thing back there. Flying there twice. And then obviously this is a brand new logo. Pretty. Look at that. So that is the breakdown. Did I see anything that you missed? Or is there anything you saw that I missed? I want to know in the comment section below. I had such a fun time breaking down this cinematic. We literally had a group chat earlier with a lot of people that play Last Epoch, trying to find little Easter eggs through it because I was told that there is a bunch and I just know I missed some. But when you talk about 11th hour games, you talk about Last Epoch, where it was at, where it's currently at, where it's going, I feel like we have a bright future ahead of us. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I've earned it. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 93 members that have signed up. I get asked all the time, what's the best way to support? And Patreon is it, and you get the most bonus content, and you get the ability to live stream audio and video with me, and you get access to the VIP lounge. It's just awesome both ways. Again, first link in the description. That's all I've got. We are done with the CGI cinematic. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.